Okay, hello, this is Barbara Beckley, and I am here. It is Monday, and before I even start, I need to do a tech check because I want to make sure that you can hear me and you can see me. So I would love if you would let me know.
And I am here.
Yes, I can hear myself. So let's go. Happy Monday. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening because we are in all countries. we are in all countries. Where I'm talking to, because I'm on different platforms here, and the one today is Celebrate You, which I'm co-founder and CEO of the Diamond Factor LLC. And I am so happy to be here amongst these wonderful ladies and celebrate you. Yes, ladies, Queen Diamonds. I call the women Queen Diamonds because you are royalty. You are royalty. So before we get started, because I want to talk about a topic that I believe is very important to make sure that you're moving forward in your life. And we're going to be talking about the fear factor. We're going to be talking about the fear factor in life. But before we talk about that, I just want to remind you, and I'm going to get loud with this. Did you tell yourself today, I am amazing. I am important. I am knowledgeable. Did you do your affirmations? Did you do your affirmations? Did you do your affirmations? Make sure that you're doing that because if you don't do it, I will tell you because I have no problem in getting on a messenger or text and letting you know, okay, you need to tell yourself how awesome you are. You need to tell yourself how important you are. You need to tell yourself that you got a gift that needs to be out there just shining. Get it? Shining. You need to tell yourself that you are here for a purpose with your passion and your drive. I knew you would get that, your PPD. And when you have that foundation right here, not just here, but here, you can move mountains. You will not let the earthquakes and the floods and the pandemic and anything else that might arrive in your life to go crazy. So I want to make sure that you understand who you are. So let's get that out of the way first. To understand who you are, put it deep down inside. Who are you? Who are you? You are magnificent. So I just want to do that pause before we get into what I want to talk to. Now, in everything we do, when I talk about PPD, your purpose, passion, drive, there's going to be a lot of topics on it. It's like that's the umbrella. Look at this. Look at the PPD as an umbrella, and everything. And under that umbrella, you have like dealing with time management, dealing with fear factors, dealing with creating boundaries, dealing with do I really love myself? I mean, there's just so many things that you can take from understanding to make sure that your PPD is on lock, as I want to put it. That is on lock, that you're not letting things get in the way. Yes, I am awesome and beautiful within myself. Yes, you are, Caroline, you are. So before I go into it, I want to really hit home on something today. So, when I come on, because I come on the first and third and celebrate you to do the purpose, passion, and drive conversation live with myself. And one thing I always tell people is that if you're going to be talking either in a one-on-one conversation with somebody or in a group like this or Facebook Live, bring the value, and give something that there's a takeaway. Give something to take away. So I always, I go in my prayer and I pray and I meditate and I said, okay, what do I need to bring to these wonderful, awesome individuals out there in the world so I can help them just move another inch, just move another step. So first of all, remind how much you need to love yourself. That's one. And you understand your PPD. That's two. And then third, I thought about what is one big thing in life that a lot of people have problem with? I mean, everybody. I mean, I can say this for everyone. And when I say it, you're going to be like, well, I don't know, but no, think about it. Just think about it. Has anyone had a problem with fear? Has anybody had a problem with fear? Anybody? I know I'm putting both hands up because I know I had a problem with fear in my life. So if it's just me, I can talk about me. And if you see something in me that I'm going to be talking about, then you just kind of, you can raise your hand real lightly and say, well, you know what, Barbara? Yeah, now I get it. Yeah. We all have problems. We all have problems. Okay, good. Now that we got that out, I want to talk about some of the other words that describes fear, because one thing that you wanted that I would advise you to do when you're teaching on something or if you're presenting something, if it's a certain topic, a certain word, look up the definition of it. Go to Google University or Webster or wherever and look at the word, because I'm telling you, sometimes when you look at a certain word, you might think it means one thing. You go to Google University and Webster, you're like, oh, I didn't know it meant that, and that. I've been dealing with that part. I thought I was okay with the word, but then when it says another word under it that means the same thing, it's like, ah, I didn't tackle everything that I thought I had tackled. So that's why it's good to get the full-blown definition of it. So we're gonna ease on. No, we're gonna ease on. We're just going to dive into it. We're gonna dive into it so you can understand what fear factor is. And then then after we get all that and we understand what it is and the different words and how it kind of responds to us and so that, then I'm going to explain to you how ways of dealing with it. I'm not going to leave you hanging. I'm not going to just leave you saying, okay, this is your fear, goodbye. No, because we got to tackle this thing, because this can self-sabotage you if you let it hold on in a negative way. So now I'm going to also explain there's a healthy fear and there's unhealthy fears. So let's go to the definitions of fear, shall we? Certain other words. Dread. Dread is one. Frightened. Frightened. Alarmed. You know how you say, oh, I was so alarmed about certain things. Panic. Panic is a type of fear. Terror. Terror. Oh my God. When you look at, like, if you look at scary movies or whatever, terror. Anxiety. Oh, stress is a part of fear. Who knew? Now, this was interesting. Loss of courage. Loss of courage. And that might fall into, because Caroline said, fear, and trust. Fear, and trust. So those are just was a few. I mean, they had a little laundry list of some other ones, but I thought these were kind of the ones that I wouldn't have really thought about fear. In a sense, I don't know. I didn't equate it, some of them, to fear. But when you think about each one, it does equate to fear. Dreading something, that's fearful. You're dreading what's going to happen, or up on the horizon. It's like, oh no, I'm so fearful of that. That can stop you. That can stagnate you from being open to learning new things if you're always dreading something, because something that happened in the what? In the past. And we all been there. Sometimes I still have to, take myself to a corner and talk to myself and say, okay, Barbara, why are you dreading this? Are you dreading this because when something happened to you when you were 10 years old and now you're bringing it into your 50s and now you're still thinking about it? See, that's self-talk. Why am I dreading it? Why am I so frightened about this? Because somebody scared me at the age of 11 with a snake, and now I'm scared of snakes for the rest of my life? Is that why I'm frightened? Alarmed. I'm alarmed at the fact that, you know what? I never got a chance to move forward in, speaking on stages. So I'm alarmed if anybody tells me to speak, because then now I have to do it. I don't know if I can do it. Panic. Oh, it's not going to happen. It's never going to panic. And what's going on? It's just, you just have to look at each of these words and really, really dig to see maybe you fit these categories, but understand the why about it. What's the behind? What's, like, how they say, what's the backstory? What's the backstory of your life? What's going on with that? I mean, the biggest thing, like I said, anxiety, stress, your blood pressure goes up. Oh, I don't know how to start. I don't know. Then you get hot and bothered about it. You're like, oh, I don't know. And it's like everything is just going crazy. Everything. Yes. And then loss of courage. You lost your courage. You don't even believe. You don't even, you don't believe, you feel like, I don't have the courage to do it. I'm just stopping right now. I'm done. I'm done. So see how fear and the different other words can do a lot of things that can stagnate you from moving where you need to move to. And if you don't deal with the root of it, it's going to keep what? It's going to keep growing in you, in your life. So that's why you have to own it. And that's some of the things I'm going to put far as dealing with fear, how to deal with the fear factor of your life. But before I do that, I want to explain that there is a healthy fear. Yes, yes, I know you're probably saying, what? There's a healthy fear power? Are you sure what's in the water over there with you? Yes, there's a healthy fear. The healthy fear is like, remember I said, you do your research, you look and you study. The healthy fear, there's a reason why fear is really put in us as human beings. Is it supposed to it's supposed to secure you from threat of harm. That's what it says. It's supposed to secure you of threat from harm. And I'm reading this, so I want to read to make sure I said it right. And what that means is if you might be driving down in your car and all of a sudden you sense something, there might be something in the atmosphere, something in the universe that's telling you maybe you need to go down this street instead of that street. And come to find out sometime there was an accident, the same street you were to go down, and that fear factor or that, that sudden like voice in you said, no, don't do it, suddenly gave you safety. If you're going to be working with somebody, then all of a sudden you have this little like talk in your mind again saying, I don't know if this is a good fit. I don't know if I want to take this type of risk because this might hit me in other areas that I'm trying to move forward in my life. So maybe I need to take a step back on this. See, that's giving you protection and getting you in a safety zone when it comes to a certain type of fear in your life. But see, what happened, like I said, what happened was, what happens is that we take it to the extreme. Okay. Now, I'll put myself here because I don't want to offend anybody if this is not you. But we do take it to the extreme sometimes. We can take something and go all around the world, and all of a sudden, we don't even want to come out of our house. Prime example, I had a friend of mine. She was in her 30s at the time. We were much younger then. Younger. And there was a lot of, let's just say there was a lot of things going on. And still is. I mean, it doesn't, people, it's just sad. There's crime going on, just criminal stuff, activity outside of our doors. Okay, let's just say that. And it happens. That's what's happening in the world, period. So it was going on so bad, every time she's seeing the news, she's looking at the notifications on the phone, all this stuff is going on. And she's just like, she calls me up. She's like, Barbara, I'm not going out of my house anymore. Like, what? I said, but what are you talking about? We supposed to, and that same day, we supposed to go out to lunch. So I said, well, I'm getting ready. I'm about to get in my car. I'm about to meet you. I live in Wisconsin. You live in Illinois. I'm on my way. So do you mean to tell me that now you're not going to lunch now? Then I had to take a step back. I said, okay, let me take a step back and see why she doesn't want to go to lunch, or anything can happen, right? She's telling me, well, I'm fearful that as soon as I walk out my door, something's going to happen to me. And I was like, okay. Me again, thinking like I don't really get what's going on here. How do you come from we're going out to lunch to now I can't even go out of my house? So she started explaining to me about how she was seeing and hearing things and all that stuff, where she was scared to go out of her house. She was fearful to leave her house. And I was like, OMG, this is not good. I said, we're going to have to own this. We're going to have to really, truly own this thing with her. Because I'm thinking to myself, okay, if you never go outside your house, you at that time, this was before the pandemic, you got to get to work. You have family members you need to visit. You have children, because she had 2 children. And I'm like, we're going to have to work this out for you. This is not going to work. I get it. It is a lot of crime and stuff. And that's part of, I hate to say this, but it is part of life. And you can't stop yourself just because. You got to look at the bigger picture here. So we worked it out. So, but it's one thing to say, like I said, the healthy fear is, it's supposed to protect you. That's what the whole fear thing's supposed to be. It's supposed to just protect you, give you those inside, like, okay, maybe I shouldn't do that. I shouldn't go over there. That's good. Thank you for that. But see, we take it and we blow it up to the point now it's stagnating us or stopping us from moving to the next level in life. I'm going to give you some ways to deal with that. Don't you worry. I have some of the ways. So the first thing you want to do is own it. As I said before, own your fear. If you're fearful of going out that door, let's own it first. If you're fearful that you have a business and you might not get clients because you might think that maybe you're lacking in your expertise, if you're fearful of that, let's own it. If you're fearful that you can't trust anyone in your life because of things that happened in your past that's creeping up in your present and wants to go into your future, let's own it. Now, that whole thing I just said is huge. So when you let I want to just go into this a little bit. So when you let your past of things hit into your present that's not positive to move you forward to your future, now you take it into your future. And what does that do? That stagnates you from moving forward in your what? In your purpose, in your passion, and in your drive to help others. Now, I've seen in the chat, because I'm trying to keep on tab, but I'm looking at everybody. So first of all, thank you for coming on, listen to me out of your day. It was mentioned that, you're still a work in progress. You're right. We're all still a work in progress. In fact, we will always be a work in progress till the day that we expire from this universe. We will be. We will. I will never say that I am good and I have a perfect building in myself, because I'm always forever learning. I'm always forever going to keep myself open to things. I'm always going to make sure that I keep steady and listen to others, because they can teach me too. So we're always going to be a work in progress. But while we're in a work in progress, we have to keep it moving. And how we keep it moving is we have to own our fears, say that they're out there, and say, how do we deal with them? If it is something from the past, trickling into the present and trying to go into the future, we need to say, what's that trigger? What are your triggers? What's triggering you to stop you right here? And then what I tell people is, if it's stopping you, we need to look at the bigger picture here. If your gifts and your talents and your PPD is helping others, that you have, if you have a gift, a craft, and this is in any area, we all got our different gifts. Some of them we also have same gifts, but you hone a gift that I hone again. We deal with different people that will respond to us. Either way it goes, you have to understand, is it more important to be fearful and to keep holding this fear, or is it more important to save lives and touch other lives through your gifts and talents? You got to ask yourself a question. And that's where how they said the road, you got to pick either left or right type of thing. Yes, you have to ask yourself, how important it is for me to be there for others and help them, or help myself first, to love me, to move forward, or should I just keep holding on to things that is stagnating me from moving forward? See, I had to have that talk with myself, because there were a lot of things in my past, through dealing with people, dealing with situations, dealing with the earthquakes and floods, as I always say, that was holding me and stopping me from moving forward on what I needed to do with myself, to really find myself, to see who I was. I never thought I was going to be a speaker. People told me I shouldn't even be in school. They told me at the age of 7 and 8, Barbara, why are you here? You're stupid. You shouldn't be here. You're ugly. No one's going to pay attention to you. You shouldn't even be here at all. Go back home. That's how raw it was when I was younger. And if I still stood back when I was 7, 8 into my 50s, I wouldn't be on here, right? I wouldn't be talking to you right now on Facebook Live. I wouldn't have the diamond factor. I wouldn't be in chemo buddies. I wouldn't be in celebrate. I wouldn't be nothing. I'd probably be somewhere in the corner somewhere, trying to make sure I keep a job at least. Or maybe, now that I'm thinking about it, if it was that, if I really let it really just get in me, maybe I wouldn't even be working. Maybe that would have stopped me from even getting a job, because then I would have had a fearful of, I don't, they told me I don't know what I'm doing. I'm fearful of trying. I'm fearful of I'll fail. So you see how important it is to really own it, put it out there, talk it out. That's the other step. You talk it out. Like, you gotta talk it out sometime. And then you tell yourself, and you have to ask that question. If this fear is this fear a protection mechanism right now in my life that's protecting me so I can move forward? Or is this fear an unhealthy fear, which is going to stop me from doing the brilliance that I have in me? Each and every one of you on here that's listening to me right now, Susan, Misty, Caroline, and I don't know if I'm missing a few others, you all have such a huge gift, and you do not need, and I'm just put it out there, I'm just going to put it right there, you do not need the past of fears or the present fears to stop you from helping and healing this world that's in need of your gifts and your talents, of your purpose and your passion. Let those stories, let the things that what went through in your life drive you to where you need to go. See, that's why I put the drive there in the PPD. The drive is to always remind you. Some people's like, well, I don't want to remember when somebody told me I was, an idiot. And I don't remember when I had cancer. I don't want to remember when I got abused. I don't want to remember when I was on drugs. But that drives you to say, when that fear kicks in, you go back and you say, you know what? The reason why I'm doing what I need to do now, the reason why I need to understand to do my purpose, the reason why I need to be out there and showing and being a leader in front of people to say that I can do it and you can do it too, is because I was, talked about, is because I was raped, because I want people to know that I came from this. I left here and now I'm here. You can do it too. I want to help save you. I want to help save your life. So when you say all that and you start doing those affirmations saying that you love yourself and you care about yourself and you're knowledgeable, you are preparing yourself so you can help the other individuals that's in need. And then when that fear factor comes, then you're going to tell, you look fear straight in the eye, whatever fear you have, and say, you are not going to dominate me because I got too much work to do. Period. Give me a new fear. The new fear is I'm fearful that I won't reach the people that I need to reach for my gifts and genius before I expire from this earth. My fear is I don't give enough value to people so they can move forward in their lives. That's my fears. And I own those fears, and it motivates me to get better. So turn the fear into motivation so it moves you to where you need to go. And I can tell I'm on my soapbox. Because it's just so, when something's so much, and this, when something that you really truly believe that's in you, that you had to move forward, and you just have to just shout it to the rooftops. That's how I feel sometimes. And that's what I feel about PPD so much. And that's why I like to have these conversations. So another thing before I sign off, because I'm looking at time, is you're not perfect. You're not perfect. And I want you to sit in that for a minute. I want us to pause. And that's another thing that you do, another technique, pausing. But let's go to you're not perfect. You are not perfect. Say it really slow. Because a lot of times we say, well, I'm not perfect. And then you move on. And when something happens, you let that thing eat you up. That's another thing. That's another fear. Well, I'm not perfect. So I don't know if I should do this. And I don't know. I'm just not perfect. I'm a failure. What? And I know that I'm not trying to make so fun of it. I'm just showing that sometimes we go to the extreme in that. And that's another thing that's stopping us from moving. We need to get out of ourselves. We need to really hone and get out of ourselves when it comes to certain things, because you're not that, how can I put this? How much can I say how much amazing that you are? You know, we're on this earth for a reason. And I know you hear this a lot. People say, oh, I'm on this earth for a purpose. I'm on this for, yes, you are. This was an accident that you just dropped on earth. There's no accident in that. I don't care what anybody says. There is no accident. Some people say, because my parents didn't want me, they gave me away. So that's not no accident. You were here for a reason. Don't let the fear stop you from moving forward in the reason that you need, that you're doing in life. And then you want to take the time out to do an Usha moment, as I call it. Usha. You want to be centered. When everybody around you is fearing, frightened, terror, anxiety, all this stuff that I just mentioned, all those words, losing faith, whatever the case may be, you have to be that calmness needs to come back. If you got to shake it off, if you got to count to 10, if you got to go in another room where everybody's not in that room. There's been a lot of times when I've been around a lot of people, and I'm talking about people that really supposed to own this, so they're on it, they got their businesses, they're making money, and I have seen them go into fear shock. And I'm looking at myself, so, okay, I'm supposed to be around, you're going to be helping me out. But see, that's it. What's going on here? Sometimes what's going on here? And I literally had to leave the room, and go in another room and do an Usha moment. Because think about it, when you're so much in fear and anxiety and stress and terror and all that kind of stuff, how are you able to think straight on the next point that you have to make? How are you going to take the time to figure what your next move is if you're so busy? I mean, when I talk to people on the phone, but I can hear them on the other line when we're talking about different projects. Well, I don't know if we're gonna get this done. And they said it, and I'd be like, Usha. They'd be like, forget Usha, but I don't want to hear no Usha. And this is not getting done. I said, Usha. I said, well, if you don't want to hear Usha, I need to hear Usha. And guess what? I'll call you back later, because what you're saying right now is not getting us anywhere. It's just getting more anxiety, blood pressure going up, everything's going haywire, you're panicking, you're getting alarmed right now. I get it. You're owning it right now. But after you own it, we need to do the Usha. We need to get centered. So that's what you want to do. And then breathe. 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 That's a good thing. Breathing is good. And then once you do that, face your fears. Face them. That's just like face them, own them. Own them, face them. Don't lie to yourself and say that you're not scared of rats. Or you're not scared of snakes. And I'm saying the stuff that you hear me saying, those things I'm scared of. But I'm, before I used to be like, I better not say that because people are going to be upset at me talking about, what, you scared of a snake? See, there again, we're worried about what other people say. So I'm going to end it at this. Everybody, we all have our fears. Okay. That's one thing. We're all going to be fearful of something. Make sure that when you are fearful of something, that it's not going way haywire. Put fear where it's supposed to be, where it's meant to be. And that is to give you harm's way of certain threats that might be around your world, around your orbit. When you start taking it to the next level, that's when things can go a little haywire, because now it's taking you over. You don't need to let the fear take you over. And if it is, do the breathing, do going something, do the Usha moment. Look at in more detail what you're fearful about. Ask yourself, is this stopping me from moving to the next level? And if it is, then you need to talk about it. What ways can you change where you can stop that fear? Your past is your past. Your past is to remind you to move forward and motivate you to move towards your goals, to your future, not to hinder you. Your past should never hinder you. It's a lesson to be learned. It's something that you can help others through that probably went through the same thing you have. And it's to make a point when you're doing presentations. It's not there to stagnate you and to stop you from moving in your lane or moving in your genius and moving in your gifts and moving in your purpose. That shouldn't be. Okay. And then after that, don't beat yourself up. Some things take a while. Some things take a while. Like I said, I still sometimes when certain things happen in my life, I go back and I'm like, I remember when. Okay, Barbara, let's talk this out. See, that's when I got to talk out. And in the end, I always ask myself, the last question I always ask myself out of everything else is, what I'm dealing with right now, is that going to stop me from doing what I need to do with my purpose? Is that going to stop me from helping chemo buddies and being a volunteer? Is that going to stop me from being a co-founder and Celebrate You for the Women so we can be together, be a community and help each other grow? Is that going to stop me in the Diamond Factor LLC for helping other people understand their purpose? And then after that, to have them shine so other people know their gifts and their talents through social media, whatever platform. Is that going to stop me from being a woman in this world to show other women and men that we can be leaders and change the course of this world and heal the course of this world? So when I say all that, and then I look at that, then go back to that fear, whatever I'm fearing in or whatever's dealing with me with that takes over. Everything I just said just took over. Then I'm thinking to myself, why did I even mention this? Is not even important now. It went from this big in my mind to this small. Because I remind myself, first of all, who I am, what areas that I'm in, and other lives that are at stake that needs you, that needs your PPD. So remember, for this week, until we meet again, the third Monday on Under Celebrate You, Conversations with Barbara Begley, Purpose, Passion, Drive. Make sure you don't let the things that want to stop you from moving forward, because it's so important that you do move forward. And with that, as we always say under the Celebrate You umbrella, love you ladies, the Queen Diamonds, what we always say, we say love yourself, embrace yourself every day, embrace yourself, hug yourself every day. And whatever you do, celebrate you. Celebrate you. Celebrate that you could own your fears. Celebrate that you could own who you are. Celebrate that you can love yourself. Celebrate that you can move in your PPD. And whatever comes your way, remember that is your foundation. Celebrate that. And I'll see you soon.